Does it make sense that the narcissist unconsciously begins to go into the subconscious wiring of your own programming? Whether you've done your work there and combed through it or not doesn't make a difference, because they bring it all up and they start just seeing which one are they going to begin to jerk you around over. Yes, that's one thing to point out. Why all of a sudden, yes, now you're feeling you need to do all of this work on yourself. And it's like, wait a minute, a lot of times you think, I already did my work on this one. And it's amazing how you sucked in you can get to the narcissist. Why did you do that? What happened? Well, we've mentioned it before, and to wrap this up and keep it under 1 minute because I wanted to talk about something else. It's because you fell somehow. You fell down, your vibrational frequency went low. You'll be surprised, you can sense something is odd about a person and you just keep it all business, say like you work with them, or even if it's a family, a family member, I imagine. But the moment you show emotional reliance, like you are depending on them emotionally, something real came up where it's vital that they meet you right there, right? No, that's when you'll see what you have been keeping your distance over quite naturally through the gut and your very own being. Why you didn't go close to there is because it's just kind of like two sandwiches short of a picnic. Pardon me, I'm actually no sleep last night. See, that's what I'm dealing with is going through all of this stuff. It's quite amazing, and also, of course, because a narcissist isn't really loving you, or you wouldn't feel so insecure right away. What I mean is, everybody knows the love bomb is not what you're looking at. They take it all away and they start playing a game, and it's the same with, yeah, they're just doing a trampoline act on your subconscious work, um, your IQ level in and of itself, right? And it's hard to tell who's who because, of course, they are known to be um, highly educated, right? Maybe a moneymaker, is in a field, and I don't want to pick on everybody. Not everybody's a narcissist. It does that. There are people that are you can admire their lives because they found an occupation that brings them joy and it actually helps people. Like the podiatrist or something like that who's curing feet disease. I don't know. Okay, so um, nice to be able to pay money, get money for and pay somebody you can trust that is going to have, you're just going to have a mutual pleasant experience, and hopefully you have insurance, right? Oh my God, money is nobody's, and it needs to be it needs to be socialist society through the medium of social media. We are missing it completely. Instead, it's like, here, get your dog. That's one of the most antisocial signs. A sign that the society has gone completely antisocial is the blow up in dogs, because it's known that the dog is the man's best friend. After a while, the narcissist just has an animal there that doesn't speak English, doesn't have to, only has the jovial personality and attention. That's very narcissistic. You just want that only, or forget it. You can kind of beat on it, it'll come back, and still be loyal. And there's a narcissist's flea. They turn people into fleas, is what it's called. They desire that for you. It could be like they see somebody like being confident, being who they are, shining, all well put together. That was me just hardly 2 years ago. And then gradually they break you down, and supposedly they don't even know they're doing this. And here's how. It's possible that they're completely unconscious of every single mechanical behavior that they do. It's energetically, and you can see it. It's like, oh no, wait a minute, this person is playing like that. It's energy. bottom line, if you really want to get to start working on the problem, let them know that you know about energy too. They don't think that you know what they know as far as that there's a reality here and everybody sees it, but they don't talk about it. That's kind of how they think it seems like. It's like, you didn't see that, right? And it's like, no, actually, no, we all have access to reality. Thank God for reality. Whew. Imagine if it was just dependent on people's minds out there. And that's one of the things I'm going to keep stressing and bringing up and making fun of everybody. How that even Joe Dispenza, just, it's great. But the hourglass of the problem of the mind comes up, and what do they say? Ditch it, go to the body, behaviors, just do behaviors, just do it. 40 days, your mind will change. Well, what happened? You did a behavior first, and you trained your mind from it. It learned from an experience through the body, and maybe it went for a walk, or it lifted the truth up a few times, like some weights, and you began to change your mind. It's not that you're change your mind and everything else changes. No. No. What is everything else, hon? Your fucking fantasy land? No, usually you're talking about your living conditions. Maybe you do have some weak legs happening. I know that I do. And it's just, I don't know what has come over me in the past since. Okay, so talk about, give it an excuse, Neptune and Venus, and it does test our love in general. Love is symbolized by the Venus sign symbol, and um, Neptune is opposing it, which causes kind of a give and take, like just a realization. It could go either way, and you try to do the best you can, but and trust people. I well know now. I well know now to trust yourself, of course, but don't depend on anybody. Not a single one has your best interest in at hand or in mind, simply because they don't know you. It's immature to think that, and they're incapable because maybe they are extremely immature. They don't even know what they want, as far as having distinguished what a good apple is between what a bad apple is, let alone what you want, right? And that's a basic right there. That's just the truth. It's all the same for everybody. What's the joke go that I left some of the words out on the last one is, what's better than running into a whole worm after you bite your apple? Running into a half a worm after you've bitten your apple. And that was my rooster getting into the moment. We both would do it, that we just ruin the punchline. I'm an Aries rising, and I can ruin a moment pretty damn good, even if it was my moment. So bear with us as we are the creators and the destroyers. It's the I am. Hey, come on, haven't you gotten into it yet? No? You put bubble wrap on and you started listening to somebody else? No, can't do that. Aries is where we find people putting 110%. That's their mark. You can tell that they were there because it was done thoroughly, or it was done quick and thorough. It was done with flair. The kids were inspired. There was, sparks were flying, and there was a reason. It's because shit was being done industrially. On the other hand, some people, Libras, will do the opposite. It's done half-assed. It's not finished. In fact, if it got done at all, nobody tried there. You can tell. It's just, oh my God. And why did you even do it if you didn't even try? Sorry, I'm picking on. Well, it could be the negative qualities of Venus to be kind of like weak that way, I guess. I'm sorry to say it that way, but pointing at the feminine quality, no, it's apparent with both men and women. They don't live up to their own capacity of being able to shoot a golf ball down the gutter and get it to go down the other side. Anyway, love you too, and energy. We're dealing with energy. The problem we can look at, it's very real, and it's like, well, let's talk about this. Why don't we ever talk about it? Because it's like, what's really going on? I mean, you can ignore it, and but just because you ignore it doesn't mean that the consequences from having ignore it ignored it won't show up in your life. You'll wonder something, and then now you don't know um, where it came from because you never read Socrates or got into Nietzsche or anything like that, and you're holding all these dynamite sticks that they handed you. I mean, without having been street savvy, by having read the best minds who say, well, don't be miserable. And what else? Yeah, narcissists are known to be kind of stupid. We are all not perfect. But when it comes to now the painful reality of narcissism, which is like, I don't like it. I like to show a little mercy, and not pick on people. But the ones that can really upset you, they upset you when they, like I said in the beginning, they they take away your IQ level by being completely, like, destructive, um, in such a way that it's really their egos that says, no, I'm better than that, right? A lot of times it could be that. It's not what you think. But anyway, I hope that your associations are going more the healing route, which, with all of the Gemini planets, square to Mercury and then the Mars square Pluto, there's this beautiful Jupiter, and all the Gemini planets are trining Pluto. This is a really great time for healing and getting things done with your healer if you have one. The thing about healers is we can get exhausted too. We can just get fried. And the thing about healers is that just give us some time. Let us do the things that brings us joy. And then we love to share. We love to share our energy and the better side of life. Like, well, how do we restore ourselves? Did you notice empaths that you have to restore yourselves from? Literally, you can feel drained, unfortunately. As much as you would like to get along with people, some people, being around them for whatever reason, your body will show it first. You are exhausted immediately after something. It's like almost like immediately afterwards, right? And those are your toxic people. And those aren't your people. See, your people give you energy and they make you feel all excited and not necessarily though, not necessarily. But what I'm generally saying is that they make you feel good. They don't make you question your own integrity or self how doing or whatever, and or them. It's not like this big depleting black hole that begins to gape open like as soon as they leave. It's called the howling wind. It's just like you're left with the howling wind. Were they ever there in the first place? The answer is no. No. And their favorite thing to do is get that solid place in you that's actually there, that has integrity, that doesn't bounce around it as much. They want that to get all unraveled and unstable, and then it's like, knew it. Bye. I'm so much better than you, and I have a venue over here at the card table or something balanced up and in town. They tend to attract each other. I trip out on that phenomena. Like, you wonder what is it that's glomming on together so tightly that it can't seem to let go, just for the life of something more real than being miserable all the time. And nobody is really being a good influence. I mean, it's like you look at them and it's like, okay, so as a whole or as individuals, what are you offering each other in case the children were watching? In the United States, holy shit, having said that, talk about having to detox after just going shopping in some places. Sorry to sound so whatever. I actually love people, and you do. Somebody described it as easy, looking at my Facebook page, which is shit-face page, by the way. Everybody there who is a narcissist trying to put on the face I call it your shit face. Give it your best shit face, just right when you're squeezing a turd out, click. Really, like, I'm sorry. Not necessarily, okay, Shauna, what kind of a mood are you in? Sorry, it may pass. It could be that, I could easily see you could easily destroy your reputation around a bunch of narcissists who are just like, God, how do we do it? Well, if you do it for yourself and fall down a little bit and start talking negative, that's when they're like putting it in bold letters. And it's like, look, we know we have work to do and that we fall down every once in a while. And can you guys communicate and make a breakthrough and maybe pick us up too with your little growth spurt there? Because that's what's happened if you've come across a bona fide narcissist. They admire you and hate you at the same time, and so somehow it's because you've gotten vulnerable. Somehow it's a classic. It's like, oh, what are you doing here now? You know, like kind of like, oh, well, yeah, sure, I guess so. Go, you can help me a little bit, and pretty soon, see, first you start out with a flea, but if you're not careful and you get codependent on them, this is an extreme, I guess, but yeah, it's out there. It's called the narcissist's flea. Like I said, it could be a very well put together human being, but in the end, if they're not savvy about their own gullibility, about the nature of people, and just detect it. I mean, first of all, you don't go past your own feeling that says, uh-oh, this person's a loop-de-loop a little bit. And I'm not saying, like, from the standpoint of my scholarly education and how that I've put my life together and we do a 9 to 5 like this. No, not at all. In fact, we can look at that and say that's what we mean. Not authentically present, dangerous for that matter. And if you really listen, I mean, feel it out with your heart, ear it up there, HEART, heart it up. Their conversation is always kind of leaning towards, you know, my bubble, my shit doesn't really have much to do with your life. And yeah, you can get the feeling that their work life is way more important than your life, and especially the association. But that's what money has us doing. It's like, yay, watch this. Because they don't have their own intelligence yet, they're not going to know how to use any of it, not even themselves. So money can do that, computerize to the tune of destroying your chances to know real life. Just keep you in your mind and do this, and you're fine. Stick the test tube in, put your meta on, and get this job. Sorry, I'm just rambling on, but yeah, the jobs are very much, it's like, here, work for Amazon, work for, well, you know. Whatever happened to human trade and people living a happy-go-lucky life? I swear to God, somebody like me is going stir crazy. It's like, you know what, this is an interesting life because I'm usually a doer and I'm very active and industrially. I would love to get out there and work, but I've been self-limiting myself. I'm pretty sure that I have been under spells. People are casting spells, especially over Facebook, pardon me while I pick up my rock spell caster awayer, and if you know about it and can alter your frequency, to tell you the truth, it backfires on them, especially if they're trying to do it on a chosen one. Your spells don't work. See, the reason why people use spells is because they have no power at all. They're not the power. They're not the real power. The only real power is love. You know, it's really, you know, it's backed with knowledge. It's the fact of knowledge. It's the fact of knowing. Being there, done that, and we're not coming from a place of the scholarly hearsay that books are. And here it is, minute 19, and I had a reason to put this video up and communicate. See, I just wanted to talk about how that they pull up that false sense of yourself, which that's what they are, and they're always on the downer and always feeling like a failure and that they're not good enough. And it's like, wait a minute, you know, they want to play that game with you. It's the only one they know how to play, and of course, you can't take it personal. You just have to get away from it. Take it personal that you keep subjecting yourself to it. Some people can take more than others. Like, you know, an empath really, it's like nursing. People would go. I'm considering. It's like, okay, so I can do the hardest jobs that are like that if I get paid for it. Yes, so because actually I do find gratification in making these rotten people that need help, like they're about to die or something, and or they're a paraplegic and they need to be washed or something, and they just change their demeanor. I mean, hey, it's not like I'm hard on the eyes and my Venus in Virgo is kind of weird like that. But no, I mean what I mean. God, thank God for editing. Anyway, no, I'm just trying to reiterate how that no, they get to making you think, to look at all of your deficits, and that, oh, I really can't get my shit together. Really, I don't think I should be in a relationship at all. I shouldn't have a job either. I shouldn't drive that car. I shouldn't have the car. I shouldn't have my home. I shouldn't. I should just. I should just. I should forget about selling my home. Either way, I should just forget about everything. I don't know. What should I do? Where are you after a while, right? Well, that's not really their fault. You might be going through a passage where, like I know that I did, and this is where I'm grateful for what has come towards me, and I don't know, just whacked me into the 3D reality, because I almost died with the starvation thing. This is just me here, and it's still just me here. Nothing really changed. It actually got worse as far as thinking that anybody is here for me but just me. I was attacked. The way that they'll work, because it's an energy game, and they're doing grabs, and it's very, very predictable. It's like, okay, so because now finally there's an instability, they end up inching right close to you, and they're like, and then they kind of plug in. And it's weird because, like, it just, come on, let's talk about it. They don't really they like them, they like you, but they don't. They're jealous of you, but they're envious. They want to learn from you, but they also want to defeat you. They want to just prove to you and themselves that they can bring you down. This is now getting more on the sociopath side, and I don't like this subject matter. But when you get close to it, it is the most frightening thing, especially the sociopath, because they don't have a single iota of heart consciousness. It's all just this cold orientation. It's not love. Nope. It's very cold and calculated and mean and dangerous, period. The more vulnerability they see, the more they're just like, oh God, it's a target. It's like, that's how kind of stupid they are. Same with narcissists. They go for the easiest thing. The next thing, like, just like a toddler, you can just predict the path that they go, and there's how boring they are. And it's you know, sorry about this bantering, but it's about their words, the way that they use their words. Just look at it. And of course, right underneath, there's their hyperventilation, right? Everybody has been through this temporarily. It could happen to us throughout the day. We fall into this where maybe we just need food, but now we are getting fed up with somebody and trying to control the situation. It's a temporary trait of narcissism, but we're not like that permanently. Problem that we were talking about, as far as anybody getting on this and subscribing, is the malignant cases, who are in fact dangerous to the bone, because they are relentless in the way that they will win at all costs, and it's never going to learn how to be a loving and unfearful living kind of. It's like, it reminds me of the story of, just once you see it's a scorpion, it's not going to not be a scorpion. Watch out, because it's eventually going to sting you. What are you, stupid? And what do you expect? But it's at least honorable than an animal, because at least the animal is being true. Its appearances are not lying. The narcissist is definitely putting on a mask, and they're like so nicey nice, and the more questions they ask, and the more they pry in, and the more things you tell them about your vulnerability, everybody knows this, the more they just use it as a weapon, like right away. Right away, they just go and see, and it's because, and then they get on everybody, all the side of the people that you don't love, and it's like, well, why should we care about you now? And do you know that this is a vital time for all of humanity? This split doesn't just happen It's been happening for a while, and it's going to keep happening. Give it 7 more years, even more than that. They say around 2032 is when it will be finalized. We will be on the other side of having achieved, or more like just identified, a split. And I hate to say it, but it's like we've finally brought up that there is a fucking holy warfare going on. One side is being harnessed and used to war against the other side. And it's its own intelligence, the oneness of the organism that is the potential to become a human being, which is the organization. See, I'm going to change the language. By the year 2040, we're going to know what we mean by the organization here. Just period. The organization is the only one that can organize through becoming realized. There's only one reality behind all realities, and the truth is the same for all. That can be understood at a mature level, above where we start arguing, and a narcissist has got its handicap. It's like, well, what about the time when my aunt took me in the closet and hung me up with the fucking by my earlobes and twisted me around and stuck with blah blah, and it's like, and now they're abusing you. It's like, babe, that happened 40 years ago, and you just took me there and just, we are bonded now, man. Trauma bond. Woo! Woo! You're powerful. You're powerful. Try love on first sight. We accept you. We've been accepting you, and you don't even fucking. You're so oblivious to it. It's like. So what happens, classically with narcissists is people turn on them like crazy. It just flips off because it's realized that they're not going to get any better. And when they realize that, I don't even want to look at it, but I think there's a statistic book that'll tell you that the 10 or 12 things that narcissists will do when they figure out that that you know about them. Then it's like, I'll never forget the woman here who turned out to be a gaslighting narcissist, and as soon as she got in here, and like it's like after 20, and I'm not fucking lying, 23 full-on fucking big-sized truckloads being unloaded in my room here, just chock full. It was torture from then on out, man, because she knows some of my personal life now, and she would flip over and become like this, a tyrant, just like it's like, okay, so and a lot of times it's like, okay, so my exit plan will work in 3 months, and it'll never know it, but in the meantime, you are just like going through their maze of different ways of, what is the term they call it, the kind of the trauma bonding, but there's a certain name. Sorry, I can't remember it, but just trauma bond, the way that they program your mind and get in there and they train you. They'll make you all kinds of ways, right? Walking on eggshells. And the thing is there's shades of gray to this, and I know that I'm struggling with being really uncomfortable, and it's not because of the obvious, like, of course it's really tough where I live, but really I can't think of any other place. It's the same climate. Everybody's going crazy, and are you kidding me? I'm safe here. And but I told you before, I'm just pent up. Out of all the people, it's just such a trip that it's like, so Shauna's life entails just about imploding, because I want to express this way, but it's going in and it's even turning sour and bitter. It's the saddest thing you'll ever think of. It's the same thing. I think everybody's going through it. They're highly creative, and they can't get a word in edgewise or anything, really. At least I feel somewhat accomplished with my broken up tapes, and I do have some songs they put together, and I don't have the desire to do it unless I'm playing with other people. As far as my music is concerned, I mean, It's a life that it's like a past life, but I can recall it now. I didn't just say that I don't. I'm just not cut out to do it. That's just. But I did just say about 4 minutes ago that good luck doing what you're meant to do here. That's what basically every famous person that has made an invention would wind up letting us know. And then there's always that story that made history that they were disenfranchised by something that kept limiting them. And then we can point at the monetary system over there. Speaking of such, just send me anything in the mail. It doesn't have to be money. Torture me, make it look like money, but don't make it money. That's the kind of people I know right now. They're like, sure, I'll bring you a barrel of gas, and then it's a big old barrel, but it's like 3/4 empty. It's like it doesn't say much about me really. It says much about them. Talk about. Sorry, I'm not complaining. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. You just those things, it's like a wah wah wah. If you don't find out about it first, you're gonna run out of gas because you thought that this fucking idiot brought a whole tank of gas in, but they didn't. Hope you didn't expect anybody doing the kind of work that you do, which is like thorough and try not to make yourself look bad. No, no, no. This is what I would like to end with at 3:33. 333 is that some people, and it's kind of could be it could be an obvious for a lot of people. It's like a big, of course, haven't you learned how to live? Some people, narcissists particularly, but the one I mentioned here, the woman who just, um, scary. They make their lifestyle work by being a failure. They have to. It just wouldn't make sense to them. They don't know how to work it without just making it not work, and then they could have like 15 people being little crutches for them somehow, some way. But yeah, it's the way that they are a success is they do it by making sure they can't do it and failing, and let's get it done, baby. Who's gonna do it for me? These people are hiring people for a little bit more just to do their jobs in the kitchen or something. Anyway, have a nice day.